Hello, I'm Nige.
I'm Anders. Welcome to the Cheeky Extra. We've just had two big beers. We've had a fine time, but what do we decide, Nige? Do we decide to have another one?
Yeah, I think so. So what beer have you got today for the Cheeky Extra?
This beer is a beer I see regularly in the supermarket, but I've never ever tried it.
Okay.
Betty Stogs.
Yeah, I see that all the time and I think, nah.
I always see that and I think, nah.
Yeah,
and then I thought,
exactly how I feel every time I see it. I say, nah.
And do you know what I thought? Sod it. Let's see what it's like.
Oh, how interesting. I'll be really interested to see how that.
Absolutely.
Well, I went down to Cirencester Christmas market.
Oh,
Christmas. And I picked up this. It's from Corinium Ales.
Okay.
And it's their
an Imperial Porter,
which comes in at 8%.
Oh.
I had a chat to the co-owner of the brewery, and it was just a nice chat. And I bought quite a few beers from their brewery, so I'm going through their range at the moment. But I thought I'd save this one for the Cheeky Extra. Because
nice. So you've gone 8%. I've gone. I mean, Betty Stogs is only 4%.
Yeah, it's just a session beer.
It's a session beer, and like I say, I see it regularly and you think, nah.
I know.
More exciting.
There's lots of beers in the supermarket which I just said, nah. I've always seen it, but I've not tried it. We should start doing some of those, I think.
Yeah, I'm flipping doing it. So, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on my beer can.
Okay, get it into the glass.
Get it into the glass and see what goes.
So Betty Stogs, is that the brew? Well, that's the name of the beer.
Betty Stogs is from Skinner's. It's a brazen Cornish.
Yeah.
So there we go. Right. Sorry, let me get beer cam on. It's going. Off the top comes. It's brazen, you see. Oh, hello. It's a bit flighty.
Is it a bottle conditioned beer or is it? I would have thought so.
But it was a bit feisty. I suppose like a brazen beer would be. There we are.
Super dupe.
It's like a good bitter.
Smashing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put my beer cam on and I'll get me porter into the glass. This one is a bottle conditioned. I think all their beers are. You tend to find that in the smaller breweries.
Smaller breweries, they tend to be, don't they? Yeah. Larger breweries, anything you get at Sainsbury's is not going to be bottle conditioned, let's face it.
Look at that, Anders.
Oh, by heck, you buck. That's blimey.
Oh, dear.
Smells strong.
Coming through there.
Oh, really?
It's all right. I just if you've never watched any of our stuff before, I'm not a great fan of coffee, but I've been training myself. I've been drinking a lot more stouts and things than coffee, and I'm getting used to it.
Yeah. Him coffee, me raisins. I have to say, looking at it from this angle, I have to raise the question: much more black could that be?
And none more black.
None more black. Yeah.
It's. I mean, if you go by a traditional porter, doesn't have to be completely black. It can actually be quite a light brown, apparently.
Yeah.
But this is black, which is much.
You know
more
what? I've suddenly realised why I've always walked past Betty Stogs.
Why?
Because, I mean, that looks nice, but yours, it makes me feel a bit sexy.
Yeah, but you could probably get about 4 of those for one of these. Well, probably 2, 3, perhaps.
At the same time, though.
Yeah. But anyway, do you want to have a sample first? Go on.
Let's go in. Let's go in. It smells of best bitter. You don't need to tell me. You don't need me to tell you what that is.
But that's what it is. It's a best bitter.
Yeah, it is. It's a slight toffee thing. If you want to know, but right.
Just all right. Is that it?
Yeah, that's my review. It's all right.
It's beer. A mate of mine, we used to have a few beers and stuff. And he says, by the time you get to whatever pint down the road, doesn't matter what you drink, you're drinking, what's it like? Oh, it's beer. It's just beer.
It's all right. Yeah.
And that's the review. It's just beer.
This is it's all right. And I think I was probably best to walk past it.
Oh, no.
It's not great. It's not bad.
It might be the sort of thing, as you drink a pint and then have another one, it probably grow and you think it's all right.
My first impression is that there's a slight hint of toffee on the nose.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in for a second taste. Hang on. Taste. Do you see the taste is of a British bitter?
Yeah.
But it doesn't last long. It's a bit too watery, this taste.
Okay. That might 4% was probably not the right ABV for that style of beer then.
No. I mean, 4% doesn't mean to have it has doesn't mean it has no body, but
no.
This is yeah.
Anyway, I'm going in. Cheers.
Go on.
Oh my word.
I'm immediately jealous.
Oh.
Does the sexy look follow it through?
Where do I start? It's mouthfeel. It's everything you want from a beer. It's smooth. It's that silk. It's liquid silk. And the coffee aroma I'm getting from it doesn't relate that much. It's there, but it's just. Hang on. Oh, that is divine. I've got some sweetness at the end, which sort of almost makes it the porter.
Yeah.
So we had this.
Fully for you.
But this was an expensive beer, and it's 8%.
Yeah. I've had plenty of 4% beers that taste way better.
The first beer I've sampled for them, I bought 4 beers from them. I had a stout from them. For me, that tasted a bit watery. And actually, I've made my own grain stout brew, which was much, much better.
Okay.
but it was my one was a bit higher up the ABV scale than their one.
Okay.
But this is just divine. My only complaint, it's only a 330ml bottle. I'd like a pint of this.
Of course you would, yes. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm disappointed. And I was hoping that I would have been proved wrong to walk past it, but it's not great.
This has got a little bit of, you've got that hints of the coffee, very low dynamics, although that's the overwhelming aroma is the coffee.
Yeah.
But you're getting a really, it's funny, you're getting a chocolate hit.
Okay.
And then you get that bitter coffee right at the very end. It's, oh, sorry, Anders. It's bloody good.
Well, I'm pleased for you. I really am. Yeah.
No,
there's no bitterness there. There's no bitterness. No, really, there's no bitterness, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll tell you what, I shall try and pop into that brewery when I'm driving down to you sometime, and I'll pick you up a bottle of this.
That would be lovely. Thank you. Anyway, aside from that, what's that I can't see? Just to your
album.
Yeah.
I didn't have anywhere to put it up, but off camera, I said to Anders, "I've got my most precious album I want to show and tell today."
Yeah, and I've got my theories. My first thought was Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Sabbath?
It is.
It is, but I can't go any further than that.
It was the first Sabbath album I bought. Now, my dad used to work in Saudi Arabia, used to bring cassettes back with loads of albums. And the one that really got me, I'd heard snippets of Black Sabbath, and I saw Black Sabbath's greatest hits in the music shop. And it's one of the albums I bought with my own money. And Black Sabbath's greatest hits.
Lift it up a bit further.
And for me, half of it was just that album cover, because I put the album on, and the detail in that painting is just amazing. And I used to stare at that for hours and upon hours while listening to this.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit more of the painting on the back, and it's depiction of hell and hell rising, and the dead are just, there's just absolutely no hope.
I'm going to sound way more intelligent than I really am, but I'm going to say that has got a hint of Hieronymus Bosch about it, who is an artist who used to paint lots of pictures that were very like that. And yeah,
it's actually El Truma de la Muerte by Bruegel.
Bruegel. Okay, I'm not aware. I don't know much about Bruegel. We'll come back to the album in a second, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I've been watching the Peter Jackson Get Back Beatles.
Yes, I've not watched that yet. I must watch it though.
It's insanely good. It takes a long time to get through. But one of the things you realize about the Beatles is that they were the first people to do so many things. Sell out arenas, not arenas, sell out stadiums. First band to have 5 number ones, 5 songs in the top 5 in the US Billboard.
Yeah.
One of them is also the first band that really put an album cover together that was different. So Sgt. Pepper's was different. Before that point in time, it was just pictures of people in the band on the front cover.
Yeah.
And the Beatles changed that by doing Sgt. Pepper. And some people ran with it. And obviously Black Sabbath did as well. I mean, that's an extraordinary album cover.
I just remember hour upon hour sitting, even now, I'm looking at the cover here, and there's bits I haven't seen before in this painting because it's so detailed. But this was, I think it was the first 5 Sabbath albums this covered, this greatest hits.
Okay.
And I'm going to go through the track listing here.
I was going to ask you to anyway, so.
Paranoid, opening track.
Yeah.
NIV. Changes.
Yeah.
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Iron Man, Black Sabbath, War Pigs. Laguna Sunrise, which is a bit of a clinky plonky guitar one, okay. Spanish guitar thing. Tomorrow's Dream and Sweet Leaf. It's just that classic early Sabbath. And I played this album to death. It's probably got no grooves left on this album because I played it so much.
That's what you're saying, yeah. Because I was late. I went through the whole new album thing, which is the new wave of British heavy metal.
Yeah,
and followed with bands like those bands were like Motorhead, Def Leppard, Iron Maiden, others I forget now. Diamond Head, of course.
Yeah. Saxon, were they part of that?
Who?
Saxon,
yes, they were. Yeah. Tigers of Pantang. I don't know what happened to them. But anyway, yes. So I got carried along with that, and I didn't really take much notice of what came beforehand.
Yeah.
I was aware of Sabbath. And they did invent heavy metal. Let's face it, didn't they?
Pretty much. But
yeah.
I was. This album defined my life. It really did.
Yeah. I mean, there are some cool.
Such an influence on me, and the other music I bought, but yeah, it's when you're younger. Because nowadays you get into music, you can just download stuff on Spotify and look at YouTube, and it's all free and what have you. But this was pocket money, and I bought this, and I had about 3-4 albums in my collection, and this was the one I played to death because that's all I had to play.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing with British new wave of British is that I went with that, but hadn't looked back, and I discovered Black Sabbath way later than anybody who's into heavy metal should have done. Yeah, they're just.
Well, it's bizarre because at the time I was listening to Black Sabbath's greatest hits. I'll play that, and the next album put on be Shawaddy Waddy. Because of that age.
Moon of love.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and talk under the moon of love.
But that was me at that age. It was Shawaddy.
What we had going on, we had that whole range of stuff going on with. Yeah.
For me, that track Paranoid, the first time I heard that, I thought, I like that. I want to play guitar like that. I want to do that damn pen. It was just fantastic. Because when I discovered Paranoid by Black Sabbath, it was on Top of the Pops, and it was a re-release. It's the second time it got into the charts. It got into the charts in 1972. But re-entered the charts in that 78, 79 or something like that.
Okay.
It was re-released. And that's where I discovered it. I thought, and then I got all my dad's Black Sabbath tapes that he brought back from Saudi Arabia, and I played them all looking for that song, and it wasn't anywhere there. He didn't have that album. And then I bought that because it had it on it. And it opened up that early Sabbath.
I think the first Black Sabbath album that I got stuck into was probably Sabotage.
And if you're going to have one Sabbath album, that's probably a very good one to have.
It's one of the definitive ones, certainly. Sabotage brackets as what we used to call it, Bill Ward's pants. Because if you look on the back of the album, you can see
he's got some tights on, or
he's got some tights on, but you can see his pants too.
I know. But that's got one. Yeah, I won't get into detail, but we can talk for hours on that album, which I might bring to the program at a later date.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not. So,
anyway,
how's your beer going? Is it all right?
Oh, I could have necked this in one go. It was so nice.
You know what? So could I, and not felt a thing.
Oh, that is phenomenal. If I could have brewed beer like that, I'd be so happy. I'm sorry, you're not quite as enamored with your beer.
Oh, it
so
hasn't
Betty
proved.
Stogs is one to avoid.
I wouldn't. There are plenty of other choices you can make in a supermarket.
But the thing is, your instinct said, don't buy that, time and time again. And those instincts were right. And so in the future, go with your instincts.
Go with your instincts. Sometimes, and I will allude to George Costanza. You don't know George Costanza.
No.
George Costanza is from the TV series Seinfeld, who suddenly realizes that every single decision he has ever made has been bad.
Right.
So he makes a decision. He decides to do exactly the opposite of what he decided to do.
But doesn't that get inverted? Because you start thinking, I'll do that. And
then no. He thinks, what should I do? And his first thought is, right, okay, that's wrong. I shall do the opposite of that. And that's what I tried doing with that. It appears I'm making the right decisions, apparently. There we go.
Yeah, go with your instinct. You'd avoid it for years because it was rubbish. Or was rubbish a bit too harsh for it?
Again, we're stuck in this thing where we've had two very nice beers beforehand. By itself, it might be okay. It might be palatable, but it's not something I'm going to return to.
Well, we might.
No, I've got some left.
We might have to return to it. Actually, I might have a little bit left in my bottle. Oh,
and that would be interesting.
I've just brewed the last bit of my drink.
Okay. So you're raising an interesting question there. Get Betty Stogs in again, but put it against something similar.
Yes.
Like Carling or Foster's or Heineken.
No, against another best bitter.
Yeah.
And then you can see the contrast, and you're tuned into.
You can absolutely something of similar strength and something of similar description.
Yeah.
And let's see what goes. I shall do some investigation and see what is commonly available that fits that bill.
Anyway, I've finished my beer.
I'm about to finish mine. So yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the rules. It's been lovely. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.